Hello and welcome back to my YouTube channel, dear friends, dear viewers. In this video, we will we will check uh, some from World Rapid and Blitz championships, and especially Rapid Championship, first playing day, and I will go through the games with some outcome surprising results that favorites of that matches that games lost, and let's find them together. Let's go. First round, Magnus drew, Fabi won, MVL won, VE won against Aram Hakopian, Jan drew against Dennis Kadric, Levon Aronian won against Mats Andersen, Alireza won against Sergei Ehrenburg, Hikaru drew. We see that Abdusatorov won. Duda Makarian game ended in a draw. Pranav v Wesley game ended in a draw. And here we see the first. We see that Jeffrey lost with the white pieces against Alexei Grebnev. But I don't think this was so shocking result. No doubts that Jeffrey was the huge favorite of this game, but anyway, I don't consider Alexei Grebnev, who is maybe even not 20 years old, uh, such a big underdog of this game. Yes, d5 we are transposing to Ragozin. Some other moves are also possible, like short castle, c5, b6, and b6, e3 short castle, bishop d3, c5, short castle, d5, c takes d, bishop d2, and here c4, bishop c2, bishop g4 would have been better. Knight c6, very decent move, a3 takes, and c4. Yes, engine shows some knight e5, because bishop c2, bishop g4. Queen b1, takes, and now we see this two bishops against two knights in a closed position. b5, so slowly preparing some a5 b4 ideas, a5, and now b4, a takes b, black is already much better. Rook a8, rook a1, or rook a1, queen takes a1, and again black is slightly, I would even say much better, g6, knight b4, and here Jeffrey had queen a3, knight c6, queen a6, queen f6, queen b5, queen f3, king g1, and probably game ends in a draw. Yes, he goes this, he plays bishop b1 and knight d3, very good move, and now this is very, very unpleasant for Jeffrey. Queen a5, this, queen c6, knight e6. Maybe some small inaccuracies by Grebnev, but position anyway remains completely winning for him. And queen f1, bishop on c5 is completely out of the game. And of course, knight c6, queen e4, queen e5. Nice game by Grebnev. We see that Mamedyarov drew against Ivan Zemlyansky, Dominguez won. This was just very short and slightly surprising outcome of the game, because Let One Min, very, very strong player, rated close to 2600. And I'm saying classical rating. Lost, let's say, in 18 moves against Yu Yang. Yes, all these very well known. Ragozin with Queen A4 check and takes short castle E5. Yes, here after Queen C2, some other moves are also possible, like Queen E7, B6. This takes Bishop D6, short castle E5, H3, Bishop D7, A3. It takes Queen C8. Yes, very typical idea. Black is uh, looking for the right moment to sacrifice on h3, and also another positional idea is to go bishop f5, just get that important square for the bishop and uh, move away white's queen from c2. Bishop h3, bishop takes knight d4, or knight d4 in this position, and bishop takes h3. Most likely Letuan uh, did not really expect this sacrifice, and queen d1 only move, and here in this position bishop e3 is the only move to not lose straight away. And bishop e3, bishop h2 takes king f1, and black is slightly better, knight e4, and I'm not sure what he really blundered, but we can see that he has less than 2 minutes, which means that already something went wrong for Letuan. Yes, this bishop g3 and bishop takes f2, knight takes f2, queen g3, and king f1, queen f2, king h1, knight f2. Arjun won, Prague won, Giri won, and then Dubov won against Valentin Dragnev, Grishuk won, and here another surprise. This one I would really consider as a surprise with the black pieces. Vahidov against Le Quang. Le Quang always been very good in rapid and blitz time format, and but of course recently Vahidov also improved a lot. So we do see King's Indian defense, knight e2, knight g3, h5, bishop d3, e5, d5, knight h7, bishop e3, h4, f5, f3, f4, bishop f2, h3. Black is already fine, g3, rook g1. But Le Quang has almost 13 minutes and Vahidov has less than 6 minutes. And here knight a7 was working, slightly dubious move, and g takes f was played, a6, and e takes f. Black is getting control over e5, rook g6. Most likely this was the point behind g takes f to get this pawn on g6, knight g5, bishop e2, knight e5, rook g7, king g7, c5, and this is already much better for black. Takes, knight a4, bishop d7, knight b6, bishop b5, takes knight f3, bishop e2, king e2, knight f3 would have been much better. Takes, this, queen takes, bishop takes, and again we are having completely chaotic material balance. Yes, rook d1, knight c7, king h6, rook d1, and now bishop takes f1, queen takes b2. Yes, black is much better, but Vahidov goes wrong. Bishop e2. And now knight takes f8. Yes, knight f8, queen e4, bishop d3. Didn't see. And black is already much better. Rook g3. Great move. Knight f4, rook d3. Bishop d3, queen takes a2. And yes, just a5, pushing the a and b pawns. Queen takes h2, knight f2. Yes, around equal position, slightly better for black. This is around equal position. And this is already winning for white. Knight e7. Bishop b4 or knight f6 would have been better. And just king d7. And this is again lost, completely lost for white. And again queen c5, some blunder. Just queen b4. Yes, black is much better, but not winning. And again, black is winning or close to winning. And yes, just blunder. Yes, many inaccuracies, blunders, and mistakes by both players. Oparin drew, Sindaro won, Sarana won, and yes, probably this one I would consider surprise. Van Forest lost against Brandon Jacobson, if I'm not mistaken, a current Blitz champion, European champion. D3, nice c3, a4, short castle, bishop e3, short castle, d4, bishop g4, knight b4. I know that bishop h5 and bishop g6 ideas usually good, but bishop h5 I might go knight h4. For example, why knight h4 is not working, what I'm blundering. Just knight a5, bishop a2, knight c6, threatening knight b4. c5, d takes queen e2, h3. White is better, b takes c. Very interesting. Getting control over d5, d5 square, a5, knight e1, knight d3. Yes, blundering the pawn on c4, knight c4, knight b4, c takes b, knight d5. Maybe just queen c5. Yes, knight d5, queen c5. So this takes, and position is around equal after rook b1. And black is already better. Not much. Rook c1, rook b6 was played. And the other knight on a4 would have been better. Yeah, Jordan tries to push the pawn. Let's see, will it work or not? Here's another very, very long game. This is already winning. Let's see, will Jordan get his chances or not? Yes, this is completely lost. Yes, and just checkmate. Yes, let's see. Magnus won. Fabi lost. Of course, this we should check. And 11 won. Of course, Alireza lost. This also we should check. And Anish won. Prag won. Arjun won. Karda lost. And what other games? Uh, Giri won. Aravind, yes, this one we should check. Krishuk drew. Sindara won. Wahidov Ivanchuk won. Bortnik won. Lushanley won. Naroditsky won. Deag won. Swanel lost against Zaven Andresian. Dudin won against Karen Grigorian. Lenderman won. Hans won. Shankland won. Sevian won. Let's start with this game. Murzin against Fabi. And Sveshnikov. And c4. Knight c2. Bishop e2. g6. Yes, engine also likes bishop g5 or bishop e6. Bishop e6, bishop f3, queen b8, queen a7. Black doesn't have any problems. White as well. Rook b7 move, queen c5. And now just knight d5 to e3. f4, knight d4, knight e3, a4, and now f5. Bishop takes, knight takes. White is probably slightly better. Rook a7, engine doesn't like this move. Likes more rook a8. And of course not much. White is slightly preferable. Queen h3, good move by Murzin. Now g5. And now white is already much better. And this is already winning. This is completely winning. Yes. Big inaccuracy. And by Fabi as well. This is completely winning. Just queen h5. So this is also winning. Yes, queen c2, mistake, just queen e2. f6 was winning. Now Fabi still has some hopes. Queen e1 would have been better. And now queen h1, queen e4, queen a1. Yes, but when you have only 20-30 seconds to notice, to see all these details, I guess not easy at all. And king e6, yes, and from practical point of view, much easier to play with the white pieces, and queen d4. Yes, we understand that Fabi didn't want to allow any queen d8 check. He goes queen d4, but this endgame with equal material is completely hopeless. Just knight d3 and you push b pawn and your king is much superior on a6. And f6 here, Fabi resigned. And we see another game. Alireza with the white pieces lost against Ronak Sadvani. Let's not forget that maybe a few months ago they had a match in classical time control, and Raunak Sadvani didn't show up for the first game, and if I'm not mistaken, with the white pieces, and he lost, of course. And second game he uh, came, but he drew the game, and it was knockout matches, and he lost the match against Lireza. And here we see some uh, another game uh, between these two uh, young prodigies, and Raunak managed to win. Yes, slow game by Alireza, who recently plays this line against Jan Nepomniachtchi in uh, candidates tournament. Also in Oslo recently, he was doing this. And c5, e4, knight c4, and white is already better. Yes, rook b8 or queen c7 would have been better. And this is already very unpleasant position for, quite unpleasant position for black. On knight d6, and here Alireza spent a lot of time, as we can see. Yes, about 8 minutes, and eventually when bishop e4, knight f7 was working. Bishop f7, bishop h6, g6, bishop d5, he takes d6. But probably he didn't like something, and he went this, h5, or even bishop d6, he takes the queen a5, h5, and now bishop d6, queen f7, forcing, and this is already more than okay um, for black. Yes, here probably queen d6 would have been the right decision by Alireza, just forcing a draw after queen f2, queen f3. He goes, this is already slightly unpleasant, and rook e5, rook e8, takes, b6, and very unpleasant position because very soon white is going to lose pawn on b5. And of course, black is trading the rooks, and this is slowly collecting pawn on b5, and -4 already. Yes, and here Alireza resigned. Of course, here Dubov was um, with the white pieces against Aravind. Aravind's classical rating is 27, 20 something, 25 if I'm not mistaken. And Dubov has 2700 classical rating. We see that Aravind's rapid rating is 2546 and Dubov's 2677. I wouldn't say that in this game Dubov was clear favorite of the game. Probably players had equal chances, but Dubov very easily got a much better position. Let's check this game. And h6. Aravind goes h6. I don't think this was an attempt to really uh, from the opening get a playable position, because I don't think Dubov is that type of player who would come and make a draw with the white pieces especially. But anyway, Aravind chose this playable line, and rook b8, slightly weird, odd move, I would say, and here d takes c, just e4, b takes c, queen b3. Yes, of course, now completely winning, or huge advantage for close to winning for Dubov. Just rook d1. Yes, it is very obvious that white is having much harmonious development and pieces compared to black. 95, 94, bishop e6, knight h7, 94, h3, g4, e6, knight 95 was also working, and now 95, knight g6, knight g3, bishop d5, queen f5, rook e1, rook e6, rook e1, and here Aravind resigned. Yes, just some very weird opening choice, and Dubov reacted quite well and won the game. Yes, and Karen Grigoryan, rated 26-22, was facing Gleb Dudin, who also faced Magnus round 3 and drew with the white pieces. Gleb was winning against Magnus. Uh, so let's check the game for slow game, and we see Catalan has c5, a5, c4, a4, c takes d, a3 was possible, and now again a3, and he goes, takes knight c3, c5, knight e1. Yes, slightly odd uh, position. As knight e1, knight d3, knight is going most likely to f4, rook c1, queen f3, knight f4, knight e6, queen e2, p5, bishop e4. Yes, around equal position, maybe slightly preferable for Gleb. Yes, d3, I don't like much. d4. Yes, but now engine says d3 is fine. Rook d1, queen d1 before rook e2. b4, but always b3 ideas are there, like here, b3. And then some king h8 and a2 is coming. Yes, Karen has 4 minutes, more than 4 minutes, and Gleb has only 14 seconds. Let's see. Rook d8, not the best move. And yes, here a2 was possible because the takes c most likely rook d1, queen c7. And just bishop c6, a2 d7. He goes d7 and allows rook takes d7. Rook d7, queen d7, queen a6, queen d6, queen a4. Another mistake and many mistakes. And g4 was possible. h4, logical move, g4, and queen e7. Just forcing this trade of the queens. Bishop d5. Yes, here queen takes, queen d5, e4. And again, Karen doesn't take. And he goes e4, f3, queen d4. Yes, here queen f6. Very, very strange decision. Most likely e5. Yes. And white resigned. Yes, thank you very much, dear friends. I will continue recording and collecting, selecting some more games, some interesting games, maybe interesting openings, maybe some surprising results, maybe some shocking results, or of course, mistakes, inaccuracies, blunders are very much possible because players are having only 15 minutes, and especially when They are very short on time. Mistakes are possible. Please, if you like this video, subscribe to my YouTube channel, and I will continue recording more videos. Thank you.